we're going to start with the other side of our family and people that we support. And you know who that is? Triggs meets Sweetness, lad. I love you, Triggs. Bloodline. They are, if not, the biggest gang at the moment in the New South Wales prison system. 100%. To be part of Bloodline, I'm not going to talk on Bloodline much because they are doing their own stuff and Triggs does his own stuff. But he's got a format where if you need to be part of his family, you got to take a walk. And a walk is you need to be sent into wherever your dramas are and take that walk. If it means get abstayed, added bay, brevilled, or whatever, and you come out the other side of it, which 9 times out of 10 you will, you become part of the family. So that Bloodline obviously is the biggest. Tyler, Nestler, and Triggs on top. Oh, hey, no way. Shay. So then you become part of the family. But once you're part of that family, you're part of that family. Like like Bloodline is one of the gangs that have taken a prison gang to the outside. It was formed obviously outside, become massive in prison, and then removed itself from prison and now become an outside gang that has affiliations to prison. It's no longer just a prison gang where before, like it was a prison gang. It was a family gang outside with people that grew up together. They went to prison. They recruited. They found soldiers. They've removed themselves from prison, but affiliate with prison. Now it's a family outside. Bloodline, if you need to know about them, you know where to find it. Triggs finds Sweetness. He's one of the real ones. Go and support him. Follow him. Robin210 sends his love always. I'm very close with Triggs, always have been. I'm closer with Henza. If you haven't heard the story, his mum used to visit me in prison when we were at Kempsey together. She used to take me out on a visit. I went to Waitangi Day with him. He invited me to all their cultural events. Like, we're pretty close. We're close. So, yeah, Bloodline's obviously a powerful gang. OC, obviously, they're against Bloodline. Are they big? They're big. Are they strong? As strong as they can be, I suppose. I've got OUTCAST mates, obviously. No honourable mentions for any of them because I don't know if they want their names dropped, but OUTCAST is another Islander gang that recruited other people other than Islanders. It's just like W2K. W2K is a protection gang that I don't know too much about, but I know a little bit to talk on. Nath Patterson went to jail, went to the boneyard, and took the leading role by stamping the leader. He's seen that the W2K was being run wrong and pulled the leader up, said his piece, and then said, now I'm taking it, and turned it into a white supremacy gang. He ended up having dramas with that gang, and W2K and 3 other members that were high-ranking members of W2K had a fraction. They split. They started another prison gang. They stabbed Nathan at Goulburn 9 or 10 times while he was on the phone. And I forget the name. There was some white supremacy gang anyway. But W2K was directly made to attack any other race that wasn't Aryanhood, wasn't white, blue eyes, blonde hair, white skin. Anybody that wasn't of that culture or colour was getting got. I remember they used to yell out to us from Bathurst and call it the white man's main because there was no other culture other than them in there. Now, W2K doesn't stand for that. Like, there's Aboriginals, Islanders, Asians, every race is now part of that gang in the boneyard. There's it's no longer a W2 willing to kill them, white power, white pride gang. It's now a mixed race, but still has the contents of W2K, which is, it's a spin out. Like, how can you be wanting to kill blackfellas when you're taking blackfellas into your gang? How can you want to be killing Asians when you're taking Asians into your gang? So that's for them to figure out, but that's W2K and they're in the boneyard, so they don't really deal with us. But I'm sure for anyone in the barnyard, you would have come across them and they might have been a headache. But they're all soldiers that couldn't be tough in the main. They had to go there, create a group together, and be tough to the people that sent them there. So if that's tough, I don't know. Then you got BIA, which is Brothers in Arms. Then you got Black Brotherhood. Then you got BLB. Then you got Back-to-Back Brothers. This is where a lot of the brothers have back when I first started going to jail and the jails were open. There was no such thing as a brotherhood gang. It was just you're black and that was your gang. If you were a brother, that was it. You ran with the brothers. Now there's so many brothers that are running against other brothers because of state, territory, city, country, last names, affiliations, whatever it may be, which has caused brothers to be fighting brothers in other jails. Like brothers are going to war with other brothers because of history, gang, affiliation, whatever it may be. BLB, Backland Brothers, they're big in Wellington. Back-to-Back Brothers are big at Clarence. The Brothers in Arms, who me, Terry Sampson, Pete Buchanan, Dougie Johnson, Phil Jarrett, Chris Gale, Pop, Trevor Thomas, Craig Lutt, like all the old school brothers. Chrissy Gale was the first one to come up with the name. He had two hands with broken cuffs. If you've ever seen that picture anywhere in prison, that was the Brothers in Arms. So it's a picture of two hands with a set of cuffs on with the chains broken. That was the only brothers gang in prison for many, many years until the jails got segregated. Once the jails got segregated, for some reason, the brothers lost their grip on their most powerfulest trait, and that was sticking together. Because when the jails were open, if you fought one, you fought them all. If you fought two, you fought 100. You know what I mean? It didn't matter where you went. If you had a fight with a brother, by the time you arrived at your next jail, your name was there, and so was the A-blade that was going to get you, or the ice bottle that was going to get you, or whatever, 10 other brothers that was going to get you. We're already ready. Now, the days of them are gone. Like, I've seen brothers get almost jade because, you know, like, they're fighting with other brothers and they don't want to back them. That's unusual to me, you know. So there's numerous brothers that are affiliated with the gang, which is no longer just being a brother. That was our whole structure of coming to prison and being strong. Was you're black, doesn't matter where you're from, if it's top end of New South Wales or the bottom of the South Coast, if you're Aboriginal, you ran with the strongest gang in jail, because we in jail are a majority. Outside of we're a minority, and in jail we stuck together. Now it doesn't occur anymore. That does not occur anymore. Then you got obviously the Viets. Now I don't know if the Viets aren't 5T. They're not Singwa. They're not Black Dragon. They are now adopting what we once had, and that was culture. That was, if you're Viet, if you're Cambodian and you're like our people, we're going to look after you. That's one thing the Viets are good at, and that's why they're always one of the most dangerous races to have dramas with. Because, one, they will back up an unknown Asian at a drop of a hat. It doesn't matter. If he's an Asian and he doesn't know anybody and he's in drama, they will back him up at the drop of a hat. Two, they have no self-preservation for life. Life to them, there is no self-preservation for their life or yours. They're quick to be stabbed, they're quick to stab, and they're 5 foot, 35 kilos, and they don't care. Their heart is massive, so they're one of the worst people to have dramas with. The Lebanese, obviously, in prison, this is hard because most of these people are affiliated with bikie gangs. So there's not really, like, see, before there'll be MBM. If anyone didn't know what MBM was, it was called the Muslim Brotherhood Movement. We know who ran that. Like, we understand who ran that. MBM, the Muslim Brotherhood Movement. Now, they were big outside. This bloke, he had done 100 years jail. He started it, had a machine gun crossed over with the cedar tree at the back. But they don't have any one single gang in prison because they're all affiliated to bikies. Bikies in jail? Yes, they are. Are they a massive gang in jail? No, they're not. They're not a massive gang in jail. Why aren't they a massive gang in jail? Because they get housed at certain prisons and don't get to mix. So, like, there might be 13 of them and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. But a lot of the New South Wales prison system these days have the syndicate with the rose, lad. No way. With the 30, 40 roses, relax. Oi, relax. I love ya. Aki, shukran, habibi. Oi, shukran. Oi, relax. But yeah, so bikies aren't powerful in jail. They aren't big in jail. Their gang status doesn't really mean much in jail. Oi, Palagi, Sosi, thank you, my brother, with the, what's that? Ice Cube, Eshay, lad, thank you very much. Teddy, thank you very much. Josh is back, thank you very much for all the gifts, I appreciate you. But yeah, so the bikies, they're not massive in jail. Like, they don't hold much power, they don't hold much stature. And when you first come to jail as a bikie, you go on a thing called interview for placement. Interview for placement is IFP. IFP is minimal SEGRO order. Now, it's not a SEGRO order per se, but it's an order to say we're not letting you out of your cell until we do an interview on you and interview for your placement. We are going to interview for your placement. This also happens to Bloodline, OC, and other gang members that are prominent in prison. I can go to prison and they know that I'm Trey of the Brothers. I don't go to IFP because I was never involved. I was involved with BIA, obviously, but I wasn't involved in any other gang activity as massive as Bloodline, OC, and a bikie club. They're the three people that always get IFPs. Interview for placement, because they've got so many numbers throughout the system. They actually have to check where they can be held, where I have to be checked through a management team, either be SORC, Classo, Intel, or whoever it may be, because people have dropped my name and put NAs on me so they don't have to attend a jail I'm at. And NAs, if you don't know what NAs are, they're a form of telling, straight fact. They're a form of telling, unless, and this is the only way it's not telling, and it will always say on your NA list, system generated. Now, system generated means a governor, a screw, an intel officer, or someone has made a recommendation that you don't associate with this person. A system-generated NA means you've either had a fight, a war, and it's ongoing and it won't stop until someone kind of dies. So they will put a system-generated NA on you where you will never be housed with that inmate again, and it lets you know he didn't put it on you, you didn't put it on him. The system has identified you two people as somebody that cannot mix, and that stays like that. The other form of NA is where someone will approach an officer and say that they have fears for their concerns and safety if they're held in a certain prison. That's an NA. So IFP is an assessment and an interview. Super fan anyways has joined. That's my cousin's wife. Everyone say hello. Oh, you can't. There's no comments on. Anyways, the chat says hello anyways. Get it? Anyways, the chat says hello anyways. Oh, that was cool. Oi, Teddy. So while you go on IFP, they will do a background check on your status of that club you claim to be with. They'll do a check on where your club is. They'll do, or your gang is. They'll do a check on if you have internal fractions with your gang, like to see if it's even safe to send you back to your people. They will do a check on to see, like, if you've had dramas with other gangs in the past, be it outside or inside. And this interview for placement can last from 2 weeks up to 2 months. Like, once you're on IFP, you do not get out of the cell. You're held in Darcy or a Segro, if you're held in Darcy, you'll get out of your cell for an hour or two and then you'll go back. You'll get your exercise because you have a shower in the wing. You have a shower in the cell. So you'll get phone call access. You'll get a bit of yard time. Then you're straight back in. So it's like being either on NA or Segro in a wing. And that's IFP. IFP is only for like pretty much gang status, bikies, bloodline, OC, other people that are high profile, like what was that bloke's name that used to do the game show? And he come to jail. Oh fuck, I forget his name now, but he was on IFP. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. He done the game show and he was on Channel 7. So people of that nature that are high profile and have certain like charges, they go on IFP. But other than that, like you'll come to jail, and once you come to jail, you'll do a questionnaire, and now on that questionnaire it asks, are you part of an affiliation or are you part of an OMCG? Like, so 9 times out of 10 they already know. Like, a lot of people say no, because the last thing you want Intel to know is who you're affiliated with. And this is what I mean about bikies. How people ask all the time, are bikies massive in prison? Are they tough? Are there wars? There's never really a bikie war. And are they tough? They're as tough as any other inmate really is, because when they get arrested, they nominate where they go. They actually nominate where they go. They cannot be classified any other place other than where their club is. Where me, I can be an Aboriginal, I can go to Lithgow, I can go to Bathurst, I can go to Clarence, I can go to all these other certain prisons, because there's nothing really stopping me other than NAs that have been placed on me by the jail or other inmates. Bloodline now they've got a hard time going to places because the drama between them and the OCs and the way their initiation was for the walk has made it hard for them to go to other jails, because like they've got a name now, and they know that they were starting to take over and become powerful. So they've now either in Segro or held in their certain jail. But other than that, like the Viets, the Lebanese, the Aboriginals, we can go to any other prison, be part of the gang, but still go to any other prison, which is crazy, which is actually crazy. W2K, they're in the boneyard. We don't associate with them. They're throughout the whole protection. There's no one jail for them. They can go Journey or Long Bay or Goulburn, wherever their protection jails are. They can go there. There's another white supremacy group that's in the boneyard. I think they're the only ones that they actually can't be with. So, but other than that, like, they're free to go anywhere else. So, the process for a gang affiliation or a gang member returning back to prison is you go to IFP and you go through the status of the IFP interview, and after that you'll be released to where your people are. But gangs in jail these days have no real bearing on politics anymore. It's more racial. Like, most of the fights, most of the dramas, most of everything that comes through prison, TLC crew, Tiger Lion crew, Triggs on top, thank you very much for becoming number 135 fan club. TLC crew were massive. Eye for an eye. But see, they're not, oi, lad, Esh, oi, Shaz, what's doing? Flagging is lagging, yeah. Doing, bro, what's doing, Big Pimpin', how are you? Yeah, but see, TLC, they've, ever since, like, Dave DeFour, Moses, Guy, or Mango, and all these boys got out, like, Andrew O'Keefe. That's who it was, Andrew O'Keefe, yeah. Yeah, BFL, Brothers for Life, yeah. But even they've now, like, they've thinned out, bro. You know what I mean? They've all thinned out.